Ouch.
Good.
Too much.
Hey, we're back.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. I can hear us.
Hello.
Why?
It is I, Dungeon Masters.
Why am I on this screen and not this screen
I
with
don't know what you're talking
some
about.
amazing art, so I can show off all of the art. So this,
Oh,
first
of
up,
course. Art.
So good.
Is so
Lart
good.
even.
Shit.
A bunch of Lart.
This is all gonna play. Look at this 3D turnaround of Tromlin.
Oh,
Of extremely zaddy Tromlin.
Yeah.
he did him real good.
Oh, he
him
did.
real
Into the
good.
Spider-Verse with this one.
This is Lar playing with 3D modeling
Good.
and
Just
producing like
He
stuff
looks like
that could.
it looks like an action figure.
He looks so
yeah,
good.
like this
Like,
is stuff that
We
could
gotta-
actually
toy line.
be.
We need to get this
That's what that
print.
would
We
look
need to
like.
get these printed.
Absolutely.
We need to get these 3D printed. There's got to be a way.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy, and he's got his tome on his back, and it's like as big as him.
Yeah.
In his
Love it.
enormous package. Sorry, I was still looking at Tromlin.
Tromlin's enormous package.
This face is so good.
Right?
He's so funny.
His little rubber boots, too.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul says, "Grandpa with his lunchbox."
Yep.
Hey.
Oogna!
So
Too thick.
good.
Look at that booty.
Dummy thick. Dummy thick. From the front.
Right?
Yeah, you know you got a thick booty when you see it from the front.
Mm-hmm.
Was that? I
And
don't
then
remember.
Morgan.
Was
Look at
Doja Cat
Morgan.
talking about that or someone else?
Look at
Morgan.
I
her
love
little
how
fluffy
puckish she looks
legs.
here.
Right.
So good.
Her little smirk.
I really like Lars' take on Morgan.
So good. Me too. And then little fetid guy.
Oh my god.
I can.
Okay.
Little guy. A
I
little
desperately
filthy
want
guy.
to rig
I-
and animate that because I can see him doing his little double bounce walk.
Mhm.
Yep.
Definitely.
Also,
Lars
the-
Fetid is so inspired.
It's amazing.
It really is.
The thing that's amazing about Lars Fetid is
Evan
that,
Rude hat.
that was all on like verbal cues, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not a take like
Mhm.
like
We all draw
the
fitted
version-
different.
well
Mhm.
exactly, but also like Lar pretty much took Tromlin's design directly from Randy's drawings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he went with a much more sort of like what was being said in description with
Mhm.
Fetid, which is really, really
His
impressive.
little vest and his handkerchief. Mwah.
Yeah. It's just so good.
Did I tell you guys about the flies that I'd made for my 3D renderings?
I
No.
don't think
Um,
so.
So in the Figment XR app, the reason I love it is there's like a bunch of stuff that you can do with it. Like you can animate things. So you saw that like that Perni was kind of like bouncing as he was like floating in the air. I animated a fly. So I sculpted a little fly and then I animated it flying around and through like Fetid's little hat hole. And I was so happy with it. I filmed a little bit of that.
Amazing.
I'll find a way to share it later, but like I moved the scene around. I changed the way people were like aligned with each other. And then to edit or delete the fly that was flying around in the scene, you have to grab it. So in VR mixed reality, I'm like jutting my arms out, trying to catch a fly in VR and failing. And I designed the fly. I animated the fly
You
myself.
cannot catch it.
And
You did-
I was
you did a
unable to
job.
catch the
Oh,
fly that I
man.
made.
So Lars 3D art was inspired by Raven's 3D art, which is all done in Figment XR, which is amazing. I don't have your videos on hand, Raven, but here are the
There's a TikTok. I'll post
Yeah,
the TikTok
yeah.
later.
here are the Figment XR ones that Raven made, and they're phenomenal.
I love Fetish design so much. I was having
Yeah.
so much fun sculpting him.
Just a little guy.
This is actually the
Very
second
good.
sculpt because
And
the
then
first one,
Here's Raven's
Was it
art too. This
replicatable?
is little baby Morgan.
little baby.
Oh baby, so
Morgan.
fluffy.
She got like
Wow.
that little kid belly.
Yeah. And
And
then who else we got? We got
what else was there? Oh, you
there's,
were going to
speaking of
share
little
the.
kids, speaking of little kids, we got Ugna and Tromlin. The last time Ugna was smaller than Tromlin.
I'm
So
very amused
cute.
that you flickered past what you flickered past.
Oh no,
Anyway.
that's the reveal at the end. We're getting to that.
Yep. I really like that's Randy's
It's so
young Tromlin and Ugna.
And he's splitting a
Excellent.
muffin.
The last time that Ugna was smaller than Tromlin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, and now we got red flags. This is Randy's take on Perni.
Perni's red flag.
Perni's red flag. Followed up by Lars' love is. Love
Lars'
is a red
interpretation
flag.
using the love is style.
Deeply upsetting.
The little smirk. Oh, and I didn't
But
grab the
love
first
is
banana.
a
I didn't
red
grab the first
flag.
banana. Hang on. Okay, y'all. We'll get back to game soon. I swear. I forgot to download a banana. No, I can't do it without
Much
wrecking the
art.
stream. Anyway, there was a banana drawn. It wasn't big enough for Morgan, so now there's a much bigger banana.
Had
Perfect.
some notes on the banana
Anyway,
side.
That's
Nothing
you know.
unusual.
Welcome to stream, everybody.
Hey,
New
everybody.
users, welcome.
This is
This
the
is
kind of
just a
stuff we
thing.
get up to. Okay, so when we left off before break, you were making a very epic deception check, and the Grand Dame has decided that we need to bring you fully into council. But regarding that deception check, I am going to impose disadvantage. So I need a reroll on that deception check from Copernicus right now. Or did I get you to do the deception check yet? So specifically regarding your attempt to add some spice to your story by saying,
Yeah, so thanks to Morgan's heroic interventions and selling the reactions, I got advantage, which got me up to a 22 for that deception check.
yes. So that was the deception check.
Yeah, that was the one.
And before, so actually you already had a roll from before that, which was like, I'm trying to remember what the number was. It wasn't terrible, but it was like not that
Yeah, I
good.
did okay on the
It
regular
was-
socialization, and then we wanted to not only sell up ourselves but also deceive.
Because you
that we
rolled
had
something
a
like a
roll.
6 or something, and then you have a plus.
Yeah, I rolled.
4.
Yeah, I think I rolled an 8. I got +2 from the guidance, and then I had +4 for 14 without the
Right.
intervention.
That is important for me to know for reasons.
I don't like those
Um,
reasons.
Yeah, you don't like those reasons.
Good. Great.
Not that you know what they are yet, but I will say that the reasons include a disadvantage on all social roles for the rest of this scene for Copernicus and Morgan.
Oof.
Yikes! What happened?
Things that will eventually, hopefully, be revealed, but you will see. But I'm just throwing that
Is it
out there so
something
that
that
we
is,
can manage the dice rolls.
Is that something that is felt? Like, do we understand that, or is that just player information?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Sorry, what
I'm
exactly
just
was the
telling
player
you-
information?
I'm just telling you the player information, i.e.,
Okay.
so that we know about the rolls, right? So I don't have to
Mhm.
just constantly remind you that you have disadvantage.
hmm
Okay. So, having made this pronouncement, the Grand Dame gestures to the guards who are going to go out and basically disperse the crowd. There was basically a small crowd of people outside the tent watching because it's interesting to see outsiders coming and speaking before council. But now they want to have private council. So the guards kind of shoo the crowd away to go back to their own family tents and councils and close the flaps. At which point, Elder Nightowin is going to take his seat at the table since he's no longer needed to do the specific role he was fulfilling.
Who
And
would?
yeah,
I'm wondering who I would address to be able to either through ritual or magical means be able to create like a zone so that we can't be overheard by those not like specifically permitted.
I mean, I don't know that you have an appropriate spell for that.
No, I don't, but like to even address that is something that needs to be done, is there a specific person I would talk to?
So, because you are, you know, like you don't need to speak specifically to the designated elder, but that's kind of being dispensed with now anyway.
Yeah.
What you would do, generally speaking, is kind of quietly talk to somebody on the edge of like one of um, uh, the guards that are here
Mm-hmm.
about, like basically you're
Yeah.
not an elder, so you're not going
Yeah.
to like talk over the elders at the table or speak out of turn, but you can certainly sort of indicate, like take one of the guards aside or like indicate that you want to say something and do so.
Yeah. I do want to speak to have. I don't want to like announce to the room that I think there is a need for more security. So that's why I was asking if there's like a person who is a part of, like whose job it is to make the place secure.
Yeah, there are
Or to
guards
find the
here.
means
Yeah,
to. Yeah, I'll do that.
but you're
I
not
guess so.
sure if that magic is something that like
Yeah.
you do know that like the tribal like the tribe has access to like cleric magic, for example, and can do things like
Mm-hmm.
a zone of truth. And they would if this was like a thing where they're questioning somebody.
Yeah.
But you're not sure about like cone of silence kind of
Yeah.
magic.
Um I will yeah, I will tell a guard though that I have witnessed someone spying that I do not believe was anyone that is present and valid to the conversation we're having, and that we need to have more security.
Um, so while you're doing that, so once you do that, the guard will go off to the elders and kind of like whisper to somebody. But while you're doing that, um, the grand dame will sort of indicate for the group of you to come forward more like right in front of the council
Yeah.
table so that all of the elders can speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, one of the elders, the one who had kind of outburst before, will immediately uh, ask Copernicus, what do you know of this ritual and your um, Necrogog that you say was involved?
I'm gonna send a little Morgan text like, do we think this is secure?
No, I think we need to find a way to make it more secure.
I worry that if the wrong ears were to overhear, it could compromise the information that I would share. I think we need to
Yeah,
do
I
more
don't
to.
um
One of the other elders kind of like leans back as you say that, and like it says, you would cast aspersions on the elders in this room. What ears are here that cannot hear this? This is an insult. He kind of turns and looks at the grand dame. Meanwhile, the guard that you talk to is in the process of speaking with someone further down the table, an elder that you recognize who is very much the one who would be involved in setting up, securing things like this.
uh
Um,
he he's not speaking of ill of the people that are in the room that we know of.
Can I ghostly gaze through the walls of the tent and see if the Ghanoush is anywhere visible, like
you
outside,
may
lingering
give
outside?
me an investigation roll, and that does not have disadvantage because
Oh,
it's only socials that are affected.
Actually, it's occurred to me. Perny's gonna have to react right away if he sees it to basically do something about it. So I think I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna guess this is like a wisdom saving throw to decide to check in with the party before he does this impulsively. Um,
Okay.
and I'm
Sure.
gonna set his internal DC at his spell save DC of 15 as if without the rod. Huh. Hey, he did it. Okay. Perny's about to do that, and then he's like, writes to the group. I think I might be able to find and banish the Ghanoush. Do we think it's time?
I think
I
you
can only
should try and
I can only do it once a
expose
day.
it in the process, so that we
Yeah,
can
that
show
would
that
be
we're
the best
banishing it.
outcome if
All
that's
right then. That
doable.
sounds like witch bolt material.
Hey.
Witch bolt should do nicely. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try. So I'm gonna do the. I'm gonna go ahead and do that investigate roll. I turn on the CSI eyes.
Okay. So you can, in fact, see through all the physical objects that might be in your way, and roll me an investigation. You
Would
need to spot this guy.
would that grant me advantage with using laser eyes to be able to try and see him through the walls of the
No,
tent?
it allows you to see him at all. So
Okay.
you would not be able to roll an investigation to spot him if you hadn't done that.
I'm gonna be
Okay.
guidancing.
I'll take a guidance.
I will allow that. You can give him guidance again. You do know that
I
he's
did
trying to do
communicate
this.
my plans.
Can I? Okay. Okay, this sounds really dumb.
Then
But
it must be a good idea.
Yeah.
exactly. In the flare of the moment, because I think it's like, if this works, this is pretty fucking cool. Like, how dare you? How dare you insult that we cannot be trusted to be in this room? Like, but like, we trust the people that we can see. But like, what if she like threw like glitter and magic in the air and like cast light?
So you mean like trying to make a more visible
A distraction, a light
Glitter
source,
golem.
and so like
You're
So
gonna
there's a
glitter bomb
spell
the
for that.
Ghanoush.
There's a spell for that, which I don't think you have.
I
It's
no, I
Fairy
have
Fire.
minor illusion and I have prestidigitation.
But someone might have Fairy Fire.
I do not.
I do.
Oh.
Indeed.
So you could
Fed-
fairy fire it. Basically,
Could
I
we
was attempting to identify
prestidigitation
it.
and fairy fire together combo?
Glitter
But we
is
would have
just
to
a
coordinate
poor
it.
man's
Yeah.
prestidigitation or fairy
I
fire.
can just tell you in the moment, like, not that we can see. Fetid, would you cast your light, and I'll like glitter in the direction that I want you to cast it.
Does Fairy Fire work? Am I allowed to do that? Or does it have to be specifically I'm outlining a thing that is there?
I think you have to be able to see it to target it.
Yeah.
But
No,
I might be able to do.
no, you
feel
don't.
my-
That's the whole point.
Oh.
So the whole point of Fairy Fire is that you place it in a 20-foot cube
Oh,
within
okay.
range, and
Mhm.
every creature object in that gets outlined in the light if they fail their dex save. So the whole point of it is that there's an invisible guy over there, Fairy Fire. Now everybody can see the outline of the invisible guy, and it's
Well, then
anything
this
that's
changes
invisible in
my
that whole
plan.
area.
Knowing that it works like that, maybe it would be a better idea to see if we can lure this spy into the tent where I can then fairy fire it and prove to these people that there is an idiot watching.
So we could.
I mean, also
Well,
a fae.
I assume that that's
There's
what I was
many
saying. I
idiots
assume it's
watching.
like in amongst us right now,
Okay, so
but we
I'm
don't
gonna.
have a way to know.
Okay, I'll start by doing. I'll activate the eyes.
We'll figure out where it is first.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'll give Fedit a signal or point where it is, and if I think it's
Okay.
gonna, and I'll have a ready to action to do witch bolts if that doesn't go off for any reason, if that doesn't work.
So investigation is your first step. You got to try and spot this
With
thing.
with guidance, and I'm also going to. I don't spam my history thing that often, but what's my history thing do?
Your
Oh no, it's
history
with
thing
aid.
can be done to give you a +3 if you make a history roll first.
Yeah, and is that aid for a +3 bonus? Does that only work for other people, or can I do it to myself?
I don't
Like
see why you
remembering
couldn't
an
do it
old.
to yourself. Yeah.
I think because I use it sparingly, I don't spam it, but I think in this case,
Yep.
Perny's thinking of like an old battle stratagem where someone was fighting an invisible enemy and got them to reveal themselves. So,
Yep.
okay, first is the history. Doesn't go off, so no history bonus.
Okay.
Now, With guidance. Oh no. 12.
12 total? Ooh,
Yeah.
no,
Oh.
no, you don't see it anywhere.
Okay.
Do we?
Bernie
Are
just
we?
shrugs it.
Are you
Shrugs
going
it,
off of
fetid.
our passive perceptions? Are we allowed to roll? How often are we allowed
No,
to roll?
that was active. That was an
Okay.
investigation roll because he was going
Can I try
actively
looking?
No, I don't think so because I think without ghostly gaze, you wouldn't be able to see where it is right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just write in my little book, Gem of True Sight.
Yeah, that would do it.
I think you currently have the Gem of True Sight.
Oh,
but
do
you
I?
could
Did I
Yeah,
borrow that? I'm gonna. Who has the best perception in the group based on my understanding of like how who
problem.
Tromlin? Okay. I'm going to just scoot over to Tromlin and subtly pass over the gem, and then just do like a.
I'm picturing like Morgan guiding Fetid to do this by like X-Men style, like kneeling down and being like, "Not that we can see," and then just like putting her hand on your tiny shoulder, and then you're like just puking fire, I imagine, bleh, in an area, and like some invisible things like, "Ugh!"
What the hell?
Yuck.
There's like intense music behind being like,
No, it's
"Yeah."
it's probably a swarm. Actually, I think you might get that spell because of your
I
swarm.
think it might be the swarm thing. I don't remember if that
Yes.
was mechanical or we decided that
It
for
is.
flavor. But
It is.
Yeah.
It's the reason you have it is because you're a swarm keeper. And so
This
literally
fairy fire
your fairy
more
fire
goop.
is a swarm
Yep.
of insects that people can see the negative spaces in.
That's
But
gross.
Yep.
Randy, can you do us a perception check with the Gem of True Sight?
I will do the
When
same.
Excellent.
When they're not like actively attacking you, but you're in there, they're like eating like your dead flesh and stuff. They're like scrunging around in your hair for like your
Yep.
like dandruff flakes. Like, or like people put their feet in like fish water
Yep.
so that the tiny fish will eat their like
Yeah,
toenails.
they're like cleaner wrasses, only
Yeah.
they're horrible bugs.
They're locusts.
Yep.
On that horrifying note, 25.
25. Okay. That is reasonable. All right, so you take the Gem of True Seeing and put it dry and start scanning around the space. And at first you don't see anything, and you're like, I'm not getting anything. And then you just catch a glimpse of movement on the surface of the tent. And you realize that there is something hidden, like either within the fabric of the tent or like up against the outside wall of the tent.
Okay. I will think
Like if
this.
someone were to be putting their ear to a wall, but it's a tent, how they would do that.
I will quietly walk to that area and point without touching it. Like, say nothing right here, though.
Okay. I will prepare the fairy fire.
So if it's not in the room, if it's on the outside of the room, the fairy fire won't be
Oh,
visible.
yeah, that's
the
true.
issue. Unless someone can arrange for a big hole in the tent to appear.
That can be.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I pull out a.
We got a few ways to make that happen.
Yeah, we're good at
I
making
pull up-
holes and things.
I look and I pull out my knife, and I gotta wait for him to give me the okay to cut a hole.
Ready whenever you are, boss.
Make me a stealth roll, Tromlin, because just to be doing this without trying to alert whatever's on the other side of the tent.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll a distraction?
You can just say
Can
you're doing something distracting, and we'll give an aid to Tromlin, so he's got advantage.
I'm doing the bend and snap.
Does my cloak give me any bonuses, though? Forgot.
Yes, it gives you advantage. So you basically you already have advantage, so it doesn't really matter what Morgan's doing.
Okay, good, because that was not a great roll, first one. It was a 17, so it wasn't bad. Oh, but that's a 24, so let's go.
Morgan's like big rough thing has a bunch of bells on it.
Okay. Okay, so you slip quietly up to the side of the tent and pull out a knife. And you're waiting for Copernicus to give you the go-ahead?
Perny's his only thing that he was contributing was the fizzled thing. So I think it's
Fetid.
now Tromlin.
Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are.
We're waiting for Fetid. Yeah. Fetid's
I give
ready.
the all
All right.
clear.
All right, I will do that quick.
So you quickly like pull down with a knife and then yank the flap of tent fabric to the side. And Fetid, you cast a fairy fire.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets a dex
for backup
save.
if the fairy fire fails.
I'll just be
not
like,
a very good
surprise!
roll.
It's someone's birthday.
This
At
is
least
a-
that's what I was told. It's
Happy
somebody's birthday.
What is your spell save DC? 15. He is not going to make it.
Good.
Let me count. He's got a good bonus, but that's a 13. Not going to do it. Okay. So you yank up this section of the tent flap or of the tent fabric. Some of the elders are sort of like shouting in protest as you like tear up the side of the tent because they don't know what's going on. And then Fetid like sends his swarm of insects shooting out of his clothes and from around him in this direction. And then outlined within it, you can see this shape of a creature, which immediately is going to try and run out of the area of this 20 foot. So that's what it's doing. I'm not going to bother rolling initiative because I don't know that it's going to be necessary, but what do you want to do in response? Is this where you're banishing it, or what's the deal?
Didn't Perny have a witch bolt ready in case of this?
Well, it was.
I think if it does anything
what do you wanna do?
aggressive, I'll witch bolt it. I think when it starts to move or do anything, I think if it freezes, we're all just gonna give as much time as we can to like soak it in. But I think I'll have a witch bolt ready if it does anything aggressive, or if it runs. You know, if it runs.
It's not really doing anything. Yeah, it's not doing anything aggressive. It's trying to be not seen again. It's trying to duck out of that open spot so that it can
nobody
no longer
filled
be seen.
Ugna in on this plan.
Grab it.
She's good.
Whose birthday is it?
Ugna, grab it.
What's she doing it? What's she doing?
Go, and then I smack at it with a hammer.
Okay.
Or I guess
so Ugna's going to like basically leap out and smash it with a hammer?
You said grab it though, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try and grab it. I don't know if I can grab a fae. That's may or maybe not there.
So should we roll initiative, basically?
Yeah, I think at this point
was
initiative
like,
rolls.
don't roll initiative, and then I'm like,
idea.
what if I did though?
That's a good one.
That's a 19 initiative. I'll take it. Little man.
14 over here.
Little man, what you doing?
So what do we got? 19?
22.
Nice.
Very nice.
9 for Fetid.
Critical?
And Copernicus?
That's a 14.
Right. That was 14 for no, sorry, that was your 22. Right, and 19. Okay. So it goes first.
Ooh.
On 25. So it is going to like I said, try and duck out of the fairy fire area and move back into the shadows. It's not going to take any other action, really. Now, this is why I wasn't going to roll initiative, because you're kind of like, we're waiting to see what it was going to do. So I'm not going to say that it's not visible anymore. I'll allow the rest of your initiatives to sort of act as though you had a surprise attack to do once you see what it's going to do. So Ugna,
Yep.
You're up.
I'm making an attack.
You're going to go for your attack.
Do a grapple.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a 19, plus 8.
That will definitely hit.
Mm-hmm. It is grappled. Assuming it
So
is
you,
corporeal and grappleable.
yeah, I'm just gonna double check whether you can actually grab it or if it has some sort of thing against you, because it is the type that is.
It's just like a displacer
Where's the
beast kind of
type
situation.
list? Nope, you got a hold of it.
Cool.
It feels weird. Like it doesn't feel like fully solid. It's almost like you've got a fistful of like mashed potatoes or something. It's like
Cool. Yeah, it's a little
oozing
squishy.
out from your
It's a little
fingers.
weird.
It's like your hand is slowed by its presence, but not stopped.
I'm gonna use my second action because I get 2 attacks to try and
Yep.
deepen the grapple to like a restrain. Because I'm like, ooh, ugh, squish it harder.
Okay. You do so.
Yep.
You kind of wrap another arm around it, try and get a better hold of it. In which case, I'll just, since it hasn't actually used an action and it's kind of going after you guys, I'll just say it starts to pass through you. Like you get your arm around it, but again,
Yeah,
like that
and I go,
cold mashed
ugh.
potato ooze is like it's oozing through and around your arms.
I'm like, oh guys, it's doing something weird.
Don't
I don't
want
like
that.
it. It's like mushy.
It's being gross.
Next up is oh, sorry, I skipped Morgan. It's Morgan then Ugna. I went
Oh.
wrong way around. So we'll do Morgan now.
Is it a humanoid?
Yeah, I think creature type isn't, but like, is that about shape? What spell are you
Charm
thinking?
person.
Nah, no, you can't
Okay.
use charm person on it.
Okay. I will.
It is very not a person.
Only vaguely person shaped.
It is
Do I
person
get
shaped, but it is not a person.
advantage from ranged on a grappled individual, or is that prone?
So if you're hand-to-hand combat with somebody who is grappled, you have advantage.
Okay, but not ranged.
For a ranged attack, sometimes you have disadvantage, but in this particular case, I wouldn't impose it because it's kind of like getting out of this grapple.
Well, I was just thinking of firebolting it.
Yeah, just try and damage it.
Yeah. Maybe a chaos bolt. I'll see what kind of damage I get with chaos bolt.
Okay, so you're casting a chaos bolt, so you got to make a hit roll first.
That's not very good. That's a 3 on the dice.
That is particularly not good.
Yeah.
Because that has a decent chance of hitting Ugna.
Ooh, it's fine. I can take it. I can take it. I'm good.
Which I'm going to roll
I'm
now.
full of hit
Please
points.
roll what you would roll for damage.
This is 2d8, I think.
Yep.
Still good.
What do you got?
Oh, sorry, they're like buried in here. The d6s are on hand if you want to.
Just roll your d20s.
I found one. I'll just roll this one twice. A 7
and
a 2. So that would be
okay. Good. You didn't roll the same thing, which is
cold.
very important.
Cold or psychic. I'll do psychic.
Okay. That does in fact hit Ugna.
That's cool. That's cool. That's
Ugna,
fine.
you take 9 psychic damage.
This is very consistent with my
That's
Baldur's
a
Gate
mild
playthrough.
headache.
Hit your brain.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just
I don't have much of one, so it's fine.
It's just like very loud Megan Thee Stallion, but like too loud. So like you're at the club, but you're way too close to the speaker. So it's just like like yeah.
Copernicus, you're up.
Okay. I think I'm gonna try to do a stunning, or rather agonizing chill touch on it, which will buy us a turn of it being stuck there for another grapple. I think that's going to be my best bet here. So, I make my attack roll. I do get my bonus from the rod, I believe. Yeah, spell attack roll. So then that's going to be a 17 to hit.
17 to hit.
Yeah.
I'm just double checking that armor class. Armor class 16, you hit.
Sweet. So it's going to take 16 points of necrotic damage, and make a con save or be stunned for 1 round.
Yuck.
And
Doesn't
I take
like it.
5 points of damage. Also, Perni has just openly done blood magic in front of the whole council.
It'll probably be fine. I'm sure we can explain the situation calmly.
Just checking out.
Are you
It's
trying to
funky.
jinx us? I'm just. Jeff, please. Please, Jeff.
Yeah. Perni's like, oh, don't worry
what
about
kind of
that,
save?
waving it away and spraying blood all over.
What kind of
It's
save
like
was that?
squirting out of your fingers like a really bad special effect. Just
Oh, it doesn't matter. What kind of save was that?
Con save.
Okay, it doesn't matter because I rolled a 19 on the die.
Okay, yeah.
But I just wanted to know because they have different bonuses.
Is this worth a silvery barbs, Morgan? Do you think?
silvery barbs, and I will
and that
give the
just makes
bonus
me reroll,
to
right?
Now. Yep.
That makes me reroll 1 fail or made saving throw. So I shall roll again. That's a 2. So 2 on the die. I don't know what his con bonus is, but it ain't gonna be that much. So
that was a electric guitar, and I
round.
regret it immediately.
So he is
Immediately
indeed
regret.
stunned for a round.
Cool.
Stunned with pain, and he goes, ugh. Okay. Next up is Fetid.
I would like to. Can I selectively web this guy, or if I try to web, is it just going to goo everybody?
Web's an
Web me.
area.
Web me
Yeah,
up,
that's what I
baby.
thought.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, let them.
But can I
snuggle up in
web
there.
just the 2 of them in that case?
Yes, because they're kind of outside the tent. They're like just on the outside of the tent. So if you center this where they are, it's not going to hit anyone else.
Yeah, I dove
inside
through the hole in the tent to grab this guy.
Yeah.
All right. I think that is what I would like to do.
So your bugs that are out there flying around and making the fairy fire just
you thought
start
it was gross
spitting
already.
webs everywhere.
Good.
I have multi-purpose bugs.
You walk through
They
like
can
a
do a little bit
real
of
bad
everything.
cobweb just in your face, but everywhere.
Yep. You are all completely surrounded in webs there.
Good.
Is that food or what is that?
It's slime.
That looks like slime.
It's web.
Like play.
Yeah.
It's this.
I saw the little bits in it, and I thought they were like sprinkles.
Yeah, it's like
it's
a Valentine's Day themed one.
It does look like it would taste delicious, but I'm sure it would not.
Yeah, probably.
I saw somebody on TikTok make like Rice Krispie cake type recipe, but it was popcorn with sprinkles.
Oh.
And I was like, that's a great fucking idea. It was just popcorn, and they didn't like press it into like a cake. They just had a bowl of marshmallow goop popcorn and sprinkles.
Oh my God,
and I was like,
amazing.
that's a really cool idea.
That sounds wonderful.
Absolutely fucking poison to me. I'd have to like be on an exercise bike the entire time to eat that. But okay, so Tromlin, you now see this. The outline of this creature is quite visible to you since it is like entirely covered in webs and bugs.
And Ugna.
And you can see that it's like semi-intangible as it's like just kind of oozing away from Ugna as the two of them are all caught up in this web. What would you like to do?
I'm assuming I can't guiding bolt it without hurting Ugna.
I mean, you might like it's just a hit roll. It's just
Yeah.
that the issue of if you don't hit, there's a chance of hitting Ugna instead.
Again, I can take it. I'm full up.
Just shoot me.
Shoot me.
Whip me
Did the
up,
web
shoot me.
I can picture this in like some like wild like
Buddy.
men's adventure buddy like travel movie where he's
Mhm.
just like just shoot him and he's like
Yeah.
holding him but like barely
It's fine.
and the guy's
Yeah.
like I've never shot a gun before, just shoot, it's
do it,
fine,
it's
I'll be
fine."
fine.
Pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, did the web work though?
I mean, it's in the webs.
And
I'm
debate
sure
if
if
I
it can phase through me, it can also phase through the webs.
Mm.
yeah.
But, maybe anything that can help give it a disadvantage, go for it.
I don't think I would have had memorized any hold spells. I don't think I had hold spells, but I debated on entangle, but it sounds like it probably won't
Oh,
matter.
yeah.
So I guess
Yeah, that wouldn't do any better than
Guiding
the
bolt,
web's
though.
already done.
I'm gonna guiding
we're-
bolt it.
Okay, go for it.
So you
AC
said
16.
this is like summon Fae?
Yep.
Right? Can I summon Fae?
Yeah.
Can I counterspell this Fae with one of my own?
I mean,
Like,
no, you
grab a
can
Fae,
summon
specifically-
another
Fae.
Fae. Like
No,
you
like-
can't
Yeah, that's
take
what-
that Fae if that, but you can
No,
summon a different one.
no. I
Yeah.
want to summon. I want to like this is a like fire Pokemon. I want to like summon a water Pokemon.
You
Just
need to
someone
summon
really
the most
nosy.
invisible Fae of all.
I want to
Yes.
summon a
Invisibility.
nosy auntie, like a really, really nosy auntie that like shines the light on this
Knows
guy.
all the shit you're
Oh,
up to
man.
at all times.
Yeah. Like a fave,
Yes,
like
I don't know that
like
there's
a
anything
nosy,
particular that
overbearing
jumps out.
anti-fae.
If the Fae and the
AUNTIE.
anti-Fae meet, they annihilate each other.
Yeah.
So the Fae that you summon falls into a category based on, like the basic spell, you either summon a fuming Fae, a mirthful Fae, or a tricksy Fae. And tricksy gives you something somewhat similar to this guy, that it's like shadowy and has darkness powers. Mirthful Fae basically are good at charming.
Yeah.
Fuming Fae are fighty. And that's sort of how the spell breaks down, is that you get a Fae creature that's good at one of those three things.
Can the charming one be like performative and be like throwing throwing pies at him, making him unable to be unperceived, like sort of stuff like that?
I guess the
gesture.
point is that if you summon a Fae, it will be affected by his powers the same way you guys are. So it might be able to like spot him and track him and chase him. It won't have as good a stats as you guys, so it probably won't be as good. There are
I
things
think
that you could
he-
summon that would be better. For example, I think Perni could summon a demon that would probably be pretty good at hounding and going after this thing. But I feel like that's a bigger problem potentially.
Yeah. I kind of
Can I-
just for the
Not
thematics
that
want to
that's ever
do the
stopped you
jester
before.
one though.
Well, hang on.
Which
let's
can
see.
be
Trauma's
used in other
still-
ways.
Trauma's
I do
still
my-
deciding what he's going to do here.
Oh yeah, sorry.
All right, I want to cast guiding bolt at 3rd level.
Go for it. Attack roll. Target is 16.
Okay. Yeah, I hit. I rolled at 18 plus
Then you-
whatever.
Then you didn't hit Ugna. You hit it. So
Pretty-
please roll your damage.
64.
Yep.
Get out of my friend, please. Oh wait, wrong 66, not 64. My bad. Get out of my
Oh
friend.
yeah,
please.
sorry. My brain just interpreted that as D6s.
So did mine.
That would be. Yeah, honestly, that's yeah. I rolled 18 points of damage.
18 points of damage. And then sorry, how much was done to him before from the Peter? How much did you do for damage? I didn't write it down for some
did-
reason.
16.
Okay, 16 and 18.
So he's sad.
Sorry, 15.
Yeah.
I did 15.
That is
Thank you, man.
33 total that he has taken. And that leaves the rest of his turn. And he is going to poof his ass the fuck out of here, because this is not great for him. So he effectively does like a Misty Step. He face steps out of the webs entirely. So he just poofs out of your hands, Ugna, and out of the area of this effect entirely. But it's only a 30-foot range, so he's just like over there. Like he's not far off. And he's not truly invisible. He's just like shadowy, so you can all see him. He's just about to run off into the darkness.
So he was able to do that while stunned?
I'm just going to quickly double check whether you can.
He doesn't get actions if he's stunned, like any kind of action.
I was thinking that he didn't have movement, but I think you might be right. Because he can't, like, obviously he wouldn't run away if he could, but he can't. But if he's stunned, you stunned him just as he was waking up. A stunned creature is considered incapacitated.
Yeah, cannot take
It
actions.
Can't move, and incapacitated is can't take actions or reactions. Which is, again, one of those lovely confusing things in D&D, because this is a bonus action, which is technically neither of those things, but I don't see why, if you can't take actions or reactions, you should be allowed to take an action-like bonus action. So I'm down. Correct. He's too busy being stunned. So Morgan, you're up.
Get him.
Okay.
Get him. Well, I mean, we want Morgan to show her family what she can do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That is a good point.
He's not in good shape, and you have this spell, so you know he's pretty close to fucked.
I'm considering polymorphing him. I wanted to question him.
Oh, polymorphing. Well, so you know that that's not a very likely option. Like you have this spell, and you have been dealt with the Fae. So you're pretty sure that so if he is beaten to like 0 hit points, he doesn't drop unconscious. He vanishes. He's gone.
Yeah.
He just disappears. He ceases to exist because he's made of spirit matter, basically. If you grapple him, he of course has the Fae step and semi-intangibility, so you can't. So there's really no way to question this thing. And even if you could, you're not entirely sure if it would be possible to like force it to speak. Yeah. Is he in your shirt again? Look at him sticking his beak in your mouth because he wants you to vomit in his face. Feed me. I'm Beggy Baby.
I will just do I'll do a firebolt.
Fire! Go for it.
Yeah. That's a hoot growl. That's great.
Sorry, by firebolt you mean your spark bolt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your version of firebolt that does lightning damage instead of fire.
That was a critical.
Nat 20. All right, you hit it. It goes and puff of nothing. It's gone.
Wow. Okay.
Leaving only I will have you roll the damage, but like it's got 7 hit points left. Or maybe.
Can I look to the room to see who is frustrated that happened?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, everybody is. Like first of all, there were people who are annoyed that the curtain or that you.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I just want to see if someone's just like, oh shucks, they got my.
I see.
Oh shucks. I stubbed my toe.
You can roll me an insight. You can roll me an insight for that.
That's not very good. That's a 3 on the dice. So I think it's max +6.
Nobody seems to be particularly put out.
+9.
There is kind of a kerfuffle though, so it's hard to see everybody.
Yeah.
Because from their perspective, from this Council of Elders perspective and the guards, you guys had a conversation that was entirely done through Perni and whispers. The bits that they caught would make no sense to them. Somebody said Gemotrucing, and then like very ineptly kind of like, oh, I'm very surreptitiously giving you this rock, and then the other person has to stick it in his eye and look around, and then suddenly the guy with the thing in his eye like went doot over to the side of the wall, pulled a knife out. Some elder was probably going to be like, could they maybe not have a knife? What, is someone going to cut my tent? What's happening? And then like rip, and then the bugs go swarming out, and Ugna goes flying out and tackles a random shadow, and then they can all see the outline of a thing that's not really there, but that seems to be like mist-like and disappearing, and then you all like shot magic bolts at it, and then it exploded or something.
Now there's like just a smoky outline that has like some little lightning crackles in it that are like in the shape of him.
No, that's gone.
No. The silhouette of him remains in
like he
for a second as like the
bugs immediately fill it in, right? Because they the only reason the shape was there is because it was being outlined by the bugs. As soon as he's gone, the shape is gone, right? So that was crazy. There was some kind of invisible man or something. Yeah. And all of this crazy magic happened. So there's like kind of pandemonium at this stage going on, and people like talking over each other, and until finally the Grand Dame.
I'm just gonna turn to her and say, like, we need to make this secure.
What is this? What has happened? What was that?
Someone spying on these proceedings. So presumably that would mean that it's no one from here. It's someone from outside this meeting, possibly amongst your camp, that is trying to get this information.
And on that note, I must confess that I intentionally stated some falsehoods for the benefit of seeding misinformation to this creature's master earlier in the council. I will confide with you, the Countess Nightshade is not dead. We have her in hiding in an undisclosed location. And we do not, unfortunately, have a mole in Graculus's camp, but now he will perhaps push away those he once trusted as he searches. So that was merely a delay tactic.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion, but do so with disadvantage because you have a disadvantage on all social rolls.
What? Can I help him with this to get rid of his disadvantage?
You can indeed, and that would counter his disadvantage so that he just makes a roll.
All right.
And if anyone else wants to do some like scanning faces while the information's shared, just to see if anyone's sus again, I think is good. Or if anyone's planning to like go report that to Graculus.
I will guidance him with a little hand on the shoulder to show that. I guess I'll.
Work.
My guidance doesn't work.
Correct.
Uh-oh.
Like
how would I feel that? What would that be like?
On.
Just like a magical cock block?
Or a curse?
That's a 13 on the persuasion.
That's the total?
Total, yeah.
Okay. Let's see how hard this is. You made a pretty good impression on the count on the Grand Dame previously. She is scowling like none of this is making her happy, but she's listening to you. She's not. She doesn't seem to be immediately suspicious. One of the elders says something like what are we to believe from these strangers? And she holds up a hand. Continues to listen to you. Tromlin, I'd like an insight roll from you.
Oh, okay. Good. Hopefully I do not botch it.
Can I check my little pocket mirror?
You certainly
pull it
can.
Out of the little thing.
You check your little pocket mirror, and your reflection is not in it. And at first, you're like, you kind of scowl at it. You're like, what's going on here? But then you'll notice like a wisp of blue hair and the edge of a horn. Your reflection is hiding out of your view.
Well, that's a bad start.
That seems bad.
You've seen that kind of thing before, though, when you're around your mom.
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
I'm having a good roll night. 23.
Nice.
23. Because of what you said, Randy, I gave you an insight roll, and because you're kind of becoming an expert in this, You think maybe there is a curse at play.
Mhm.
That was a fey creature.
So someone unseelie, or maybe one of the twins, or the remaining twin.
Maybe.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean there's somebody here, but like something is affecting Morgan and Copernicus as they like Morgan and Copernicus in working together here would normally be a tour de force of social skill.
Yeah.
But there's seemingly an uphill battle. And it's all
Two
very
vastly-
esoteric. There's no like, it's not like there's a sign that goes up that says the guidance didn't work when it was being used on a social skill. But you have the insight to kind of glean that there might be a curse here, which is unfortunate because you don't have a spell slot left with which to remove a curse because you already removed Morgan's curse earlier today.
Yep.
Also-
I will step. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, also, I've just rolled 3 different rolls here to see if I can get out of the web, and they have been a 2, a 5, and a 3.
Oh,
So I'm still in the web.
it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah.
Although if Fetid can like drop it and like
That's fine.
dismiss it instantly,
No,
it's
no,
just
I'm
that
just,
he isn't.
I just, for the shot, I'm off in the corner of the screen just going,
Trauma
Okay,
will turn.
I've been waiting for like a good moment for Morgan to dispel that like would work with like Morgan's story of like dispelling the curses that she has on her. Because I don't want to do it willy-nilly.
Are we talking the
and-
black token?
Yeah, definitely. Because I've been thinking a lot about what it means for her to shed the image of her
Yep.
younger self. And that's why I was just like, it doesn't feel right to do so yet. And I think this is a really good
Thematic.
moment to do it.
Yep.
very thematic.
And for her to like, so feeling
Well,
her
let's say-
guidance not work. Feeling her
Let's- I mean,
guidance, yeah.
You don't really notice that the guidance doesn't work because it's not like it's a
Yeah.
number, right? You don't know what it actually. You do magic, and then the other person might be better, might make a roll, right?
Yeah.
But let's say that Tromlin, either through Perny surreptitiously or just with a whisper, lets you know, like, I think that thing cursed you. Letting Morgan be like, I am so sick of this.
Yeah. So
And in fact, when he does that, when he whispers, I think that thing cursed you. You see, because you had your mirror out, you see your head poke back in a little into frame and kind of do like a.
Mhm.
Is this a black token?
Yeah.
Black token.
Yeah, she's gonna turn to her mom and say like, there's way more important shit than the way that you have not considered me or the information we bring, and that this is fucking serious. And she's gonna take out the boba knife, the bubble tea straw knife from her container, her cup. And she's gonna cut her ponytail.
Ooh.
And break the curses that have changed her form.
So when you do so, and you say, that you want your mom to see you, you say something along the lines of like, "See me," as you say that.
Yeah.
You step out of yourself as though, and you disappear as though your old self was missed. So as you make this cut, you sort of take one step forward, and the body that you were disappears like this. It's like you just did a misty step, and the mist vanishes from where you were. It's very Loki, Tromlin, because it's like you're stepping out of the illusion that you were, and that illusion is gone, and you're back to your normal self. So you now appear the size and age that Morgan was before Wild Magic did weird shit.
Yeah.
Two things are going to happen. One, add that black token to Morgan's tracker.
Already done.
But secondly, a wild magic effect is going to occur. And I am going to just pull up the chart and make a new roll.
Curse to be younger.
Yeah, watch me roll the exact same curse. That would be hilarious.
Oh
that would be two of
No,
them, though.
no,
That
you're
would be
older
pretty
and you just
unlikely.
go too far. You're just like, oh, damn.
Yeah,
now.
you just go too far the other way. You age an extra 3 years. You're like, whatever.
my back
Close
hurts.
enough.
We're pushing Morgan around in a wheelchair in the dungeons.
No. I would have like one very like nicely specially made. It'd be like a chaise lounge with like caterpillar legs.
There are
nice.
rules for the combat wheelchair. We can make it work.
Yeah.
We can do it.
I do have a wheelchair using character in mind
Nice.
that I want to make.
Nice.
I think I told you about it. So that cleric
yes, yeah, you
artificer.
did. That's a real cool one.
There's the next page.
Whoop.
Little baby.
Oh, baby.
Little baby. Little cute little baby.
He's just a little guy.
Oh.
Almost his bedtime.
It is.
He's getting sucky.
I feel that one, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if he knew that he would get sleepy if he crawled in your shirt, or if he got in there and was like, oh.
I think the latter.
Okay.
He was just like, what's this? I'm going to explore it. Oh, it's good in here. Sleep.
I got roll twice on this table.
It's taller and younger. I'm going to laugh.
Shorter and older.
The first one is perfect.
Join me, Morgan.
Okay. Yeah. It'll just be the same height and build. I will be exactly Lars' 3D sculpt at that point. Or like my my chibi he.
No, this is actually perfect. So you Misty Step. So that's exactly what I was describing for flavor. It happens as a spell effect, which is perfect. You step out of your previous self and become your original form. But the second thing that happens is a fear spell centered on yourself. So as you sort of like have this like this moment where you say, "This is serious. We have to talk serious." There's a fear effect, and that means everyone needs to make a saving throw.
Oh dear.
Except Morgan, obviously.
I am the scary auntie that I loved growing up.
What kind?
Spell save DC is Morgan's, which is considerable.
17?
17, yep.
I think.
What's it based off of?
A wisdom save.
Okay.
Okay, then I rolled a 17, so if it was int, I wouldn't have made it. But it's wisdom, so I have a 0.
A 1 from Copernicus.
Oh no, Perni.
Oh,
you're muted, Perni. You're muted.
muted with fear.
Yeah.
Sorry, there was like 5 fire engines went by a moment ago. Perni, I think, was put in his place this morning, and very much, I think, saw in that moment like Morgan being the adult in the room toward him. So I think this was just like he's just experiencing the magical equivalent of that, and it's too much.
What is your name? Galadriel?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, Galadriel.
Yep, exactly. Instead of a Dark Lord, you would have a queen. So Ugna makes it.
8 for me, so
I
I
could never be afraid of you.
Okay, so who else made it?
I rolled an 11. What am I adding to that?
Wisdom save modifier.
I've got that. That's a 15 then.
Oh, nice.
That's not sufficient.
Enough, but that's
No,
bonus.
I'm scared.
No, it's a 17.
No.
The Grand Dame made it, but that's probably appropriate since you're addressing her. It wouldn't work too well if you're fleeing.
It would be pretty fucking cool though if I scared my mom.
But most of the other elders did not make it. So basically, everyone in the room except for Ugna and the Grand Dame is it's flee or cower if there's nowhere to flee, and you're kind of like there's a couple guards near the door who can obviously flee out. Ugna could flee if she was actually out of the webs, but she's not. But she made it anyway. So everyone else is just kind of like taking steps away from you and sort of like cowering back at this outburst as you and as this like as you shed your form and it disappears to mist and you appear
Good boy.
as your normal self.
Good boy.
And I'm very glad I re-rolled my first roll because I rolled the first roll I made. I was like, that's dumb because it was just you have pink hair. So I re-rolled
Oh, yeah.
and that's what I got instead, and
That's
that's
not as
much better.
exciting.
I have played a pink-haired satyr before.
Yeah.
I got pink hair anyway.
So, for a moment, everyone is like very taken aback, magically so, as you cease appearing as young and tall, and appear as your normal. What Lardras? Wow, crazy bird. Okay.
How can we make a safer space for us to conduct? Because there's more information that can be shared, but we have to do it in a way that isn't going to compromise our safety.
Have you routed these spies?
The one we
There
know
is no
of.
space safer than this that we possess.
I think that's the only one that I know of.
The Grandam will shout at the guards as they meekly come creeping back after fleeing, and says, orders them basically to bring more guards and like just ring the pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
And someone, of course, will come and like immediately start like putting a rope with a spike through and stitch up the gash.
Can we have them smudge and incense the exterior of the tents to make it
they'll
like
probably bring
smoky?
They'll probably bring clerics to do like some basic protection from evil kind of spells that sort of have that general. I mean, that's basically what that would look like. It's a smudging, but the idea being to try and do the sort of most that you can do in blanket terms for anti-magic.
Perni, could you draw the tattoo? She's going to text you to draw the tattoo. And we can present that to at least the core leaders, gauge in handing them the information about who the cultists,
the
how they're
silver
marked.
and sable shield of Nihil.
Yeah, and then also get insight on their reactions in case one of them is, a baddie in a bad way.
And so you're telling them what this tattoo refers to.
I've dropped the tattoo into the chat, or at least into the
the
images area.
Very nice.
Thanks again, Lar.
So this is going to. I'm assuming, by the way, that you bring Ugna back in.
Yeah.
You eventually get
I
that Fetid can just go, oh yeah, and like dispel his or like stop
brush
concentrating on
myself
the webs.
Give a thumbs up. Good.
All good.
So you can come back in. So when you show them that tattoo, several of them will nod knowingly, and they'll like they've seen this on bodies of their enemies that when they have fought the ice barbarians.
Can I roll an insight to see if they have any nefarious reactions they're holding back?
Yep, you certainly can.
That's a hoot growl. That's another critical. That's my third critical.
How many of you rolled tonight?
That's 3.
Some good dice.
Wow.
My insight bonus is 9.
Yeah, so just stand by that for a while. You have a pretty solid, eye on them. I'll just generally tell you, there's no any of the sort of nefarious infiltrators are not amongst the elders. You're not going to get anything from here. You're not sure about the guards outside, but like there's a lot of them. So if one of them does happen to be an infiltrator, they're not going to be able to do much.
Mm-hmm.
So this will bring the conversation back around to the. So I'm assuming Copernicus talks about having seen. And so, did you want to describe the individual that you saw who had that tattoo?
Yeah.
Is Aphon here? Is he amongst the people that are meeting?
No,
As a,
because
like,
this is a council of the elders. Aphon's father is here.
Yeah. Okay.
But not Aphon himself.
So yeah, I will describe the individual that I saw wearing with the tattoo.
Okay. There's like probably a brief conversation with guards who are sent off to go and try and find that individual. And they will bring up the question again, what do you know of the magic, the ritual of the North, Gracchus, and what he has done to the
I'm gonna
Frostworm?
turn to Morgan once more. I think we now have I think it's now safe space, but just if like one more time before I actually reveal everything that we know about, and I will talk about the Great Frostworm, the enchantment on Lady Countess Nightshade, on the specifics of the vision that I saw of Gracchus, because I think at this point this is an all hands on deck situation, and as long as we're not being listened in on, we're good to go.
Morgan's going to ask Tromlin, because Tromlin has minor illusion, right?
I believe so. We'll see.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that comes with your
it's one of the
arcane trickster.
Yeah, I have that. Also, I'll cast a mending on the hole in the
on the tent. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was just asking that he can create at least vision barriers to the small circle that's meeting, at least from some angles. From the guards' direction, at least. And
the guards are outside now. There's no guards.
Okay,
The tent
but, like,
itself
entrance
is a pretty solid barrier.
Yeah, entrance, exits. Just because we don't know if like people are
just for
not
peeking.
close, right? And Morgan will use minor illusion to create images of creatures, locations, maps, to be able to help pass off the information that we have.
So as Copernicus sort of explains stuff, you guys can make a little image, little still images, as necessary. I think Copernicus has some maps as well that he can pull out.
Yep.
Okay, so at this point, you're going to go into sort of like what you know about the Necrogog is some kind of trouble in the East. Are you going to bother to go into any of like Glorpa's prophecies or visions? That stuff's still a little esoteric and kind of.
Yeah,
I think sharing that vision information is still valid. So Morgan will share
it. This is a place that'd be received well.
Yeah, Morgan will share the visions that she's had, the visions that Glorpa had, as part of that as well.
So that basically making it clear that this is like a global threat. It's not just that there's problems here. The elders, of course, this is going to turn the discussion very grave, of course. But they don't seem overly surprised. Like it isn't like, oh no, the world might be ending. Holy shit. It's more like, yeah, we thought that it was something like this.
Yeah.
And the elders will tell you they don't know the specifics of the ritual. That is why they wanted to know. Whatever it is that Gracchus has done is so powerful, it has enslaved, captured something, the great frostworm of the North. And all they know is that the power is necromantic, and that when it happened, the hordes raiding from the wildwoods like multiplied by 100-fold.
Morgan's gonna
sorry?
Morgan's gonna also share the information that we've gleaned about Pernie's girlfriend, and she'll like say like girlfriend, who is currently
You mean
cursed.
Nightshade?
Yeah.
So which information are we talking about?
The ritual that's being held possibly amongst different
Oh,
locations
okay, so
to keep her under
specifically,
spell.
yeah. So this will require Copernicus to kind of get into some of like what he
Yeah.
figured out in
Yeah.
But yeah,
Ravenfall.
Yeah.
well, she's
And
making sure
also
to bring it up and
requires
also be
Copernicus
spiteful.
to get caught riding dirty.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I see
yes.
why the emphasis. I get it.
Yeah.
Girlfriend.
But also because if the frostworm is being controlled or influenced, then if we find out how the lady is being contained and influenced, that might mean it's easier to undo that.
Mhm.
And here's my
So there may be a link then between this swoon of the city. They'll say a word that is in their language that Morgan, just basically means like um, a feminine version of like city maker or city lord.
I got
Pretty boy.
I
I'm
solved my
amused that he keeps
problem
flying right at your face.
with my drinks last time, and I got a cute little shot glass.
Yay.
Tiny.
For tiny little Moscow mules.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
So they will tell you what do you know of the dark wizard Graculus?
We know
Do you know
very little.
what do you know of his story?
He's a
We
dick.
know very little.
Mhm.
I'm just looking up my Graculus file in my notes here. I have a whole Notion folder system for tracking our NPCs. I don't think we know very much though.
Do we have a picture
No,
Yeah, I was just looking that up.
of any kind or image?
you've only ever seen Graculus once, and by you I mean Perny, because he was in a vision. That's the only encounter of any kind. You've heard him mentioned. You got his name dropped a bunch of times as this like powerful wizard who has been working with Eliphas Darkmoor, doing some kind of necromantic magic, and that he was the source of the ritual that Eliphas Darkmoor was then using to turn Nightshade's own power against her and basically tap into the power of the city to overthrow Nightshade. And he's Raven folk, and that's about it. And then you saw him in that vision, or you saw like a Raven folk wizard doing some kind of ritual at the cave, the lair of the frostworm. So you assume it was him.
Also, like side note for our wonderful community of watchers and listeners, how interested would y'all be if we made like a Trash Heroes burn book? Like that just has like all the pictures of the various characters. Because we obviously put like Graculus like the dumbest bitch. Just like a collage of the art and then
That
like our
sucks.
characters' thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just thoughts, musings.
Discuss in the Discord.
Yeah.
Sure have a lot of art for this game. I think I counted and it was like reaching 300 pieces of art.
Amazing.
We're all pretty incredible. What can I say?
It's good to have
Everyone's so awesome.
It's good to have a stream with artists in it. That's how it works. So
yeah, so I could tell him he's master followers of Nihil. I can recite the vision, which he appeared in a barren waste, creating a giant undead figure rising from the hills.
He was not. So the elders will tell you that he was not anything to do with the ice barbarians until recently, and the rise of their belief. There have been different tribes of barbarians in the frozen wastes for aeons, but this worship of Nihil that they have rallied around, and their warlike behaviors are recent. And it is probably the coming of this dark wizard that spurred this. He comes from Ervik, the city of the Raven folk. And I don't know if you want to pull up a map for me,
I'm
Alina.
already doing that.
I kind of thought you might be.
This is the one.
They will say that the Council of Ravens that ruled for centuries in Ervik was he's very endearing.
He really is.
He says, "I'm
He's
just a
just sitting
baby.
on my head now. Hi.
Look how good
Hey.
I'm being.
No
I'm
biting
gonna
my
check
nose.
your nose out.
No biting my nose.
What's this?
Buddy.
Does food come out of
My
this?
God,
You know what?
he's just so photogenic.
Right?
Does,
He's such a good
does
little
food come out of
guy.
this part of your face? How about
Just
this
a little
part?
camera mango.
Mm-hmm.
He's very snuggly.
Reminds
But
me
also, he
of
still thinks that food comes out of everything that he grabs.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
If he just shakes it hard enough.
Yep.
our
Just grab
our
your nose and
elder
shake it hard, and
cat,
food will come out.
Mischief, liked wearing accessories.
Aww.
So, like, I would put my bracelet on her like a necklace, and she would sit there, like, letting me do it, and she'd kind of be posing, like, her chest popped out like this, and she'd be purring. She'd be like, yes.
Yeah,
And,
I know
like,
I'm beautiful.
so good.
I'm perfect.
So cute. She'd be wearing, like, a little bracelet as a necklace, and then, like,
Aw.
I sometimes I'd put, like, a really big, like, comically large, like, anime
Hey,
red
not
bow
the
on
eye.
her.
Not the eye.
Very
But
sweet.
no eyes.
So, yeah, so the map is up now, and you can see Ervik in the far north,
Yep.
in the Great Northern Sea. This is the city of the Raven folk.
Because we're like over
Um,
here, right? By the icy wastes.
You're
Yeah.
basically at the edge of the hills, where that last hill is underneath the word lair.
Right here. So that's not super far.
Yep.
We're
Yeah.
closer to the lair of the frostworm than I thought we'd ever be.
Yeah.
Well, and they'll tell you that the children, the dragons of the north, the ice dragons, children of the frostworm, used to always come and go from the lair, but have all fled the north
Not
But
good.
in my
because of
vision,
whatever's
I saw-
happening in there.
I saw the giant undead creature that was summoned under Gracolus's power descend into the lair itself. So that might explain some of that.
They'll all exchange glances and say whether the frostworm has been destroyed by this creature or subsumed by this creature.
I think it's being harnessed for its power.
Mm.
It is
I
now
suspect.
nothing goes near, not even the other dragons. But we have seen no sign of anything living coming or going from that cave, even from our bravest scouts, other than the source or the wizard Graculus himself. And he comes and just goes straight on into the lair, basically. They'll tell you that. Whatever magic he is doing, he's doing it in there. But they'll tell you about his rise to power. The Ravens Council that ruled in Ervik, it was overthrown by one of the houses. So there have always been a council of ravens that ruled in no one ruler in Ervik. But the council is all the ancestral houses of the Raven folk. And one of the ancestral houses is the House Airy. And recently, a younger scion of the House Airy had gotten southerner ideas of politics. Basically, had become interested in power and rule, and he is now crowned himself as the king of the ravens, king of the raven folk. And we now suspect that he has long been in league with Graculus the wizard and has powers gifted to him. And the worship of Nihil is now the law of the land in Ervik. His name is Lord Donch, and he is his rule there seems near absolute. If you see raven folk flying in the distance in the north, hide yourselves. They are spies. There is nothing that they see that does not get reported to Lord Donch and his ally Graculus. You're muted there, Peter.
But there's so many things I'm trying to add to my notes, and I'm trying to cross-link them all.
What did you need?
Oh no, it's good. I'm just I whenever new lore drops, I try to categorize.
I thought you wanted me to reiterate something.
No, we're good.
That
Lord
one
Donch
was
is the Ravenfolk despot of
Lord
Erevik.
Donch of the House Airy.
House Airy.
I'm mad.
Graculus.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
about.
son of a!
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. It's a very
Wait till you
CanCon
see
joke.
his royal robes.
Oh
Anyway,
no.
but
Oh no.
they're very loud.
Oh, and of course, his closest ally in the city is actually from the south in Ibisha, so he's known as a Don.
Yeah.
Or no, hold on.
Probably is.
Yeah. What's it? No, Ron McLean. Ron McLean's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wingman.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll find a way to get him in there. Right. Oh,
Lane
Anyway.
McRon.
That one worked out. That one worked out pretty well. So
I cut up those noodles, Raven.
So basically, we're just going to wrap up here with like this council.
With Donch.
Old Donch.
Good old Donch.
Yeah, the following of Nihil really stems from the Ravenfolk. Lord Donch. And the big thing that is very new to them is this whole undead or necromancy side of it. Like they knew that the necromancy was involved in some way with the ritual that was done at the lair of the frostworm, but then all of a sudden there's these like ravaging zombie hordes coming out of the wildwoods, and they're like, "What is this new thing now?"
Telling them about the Raven cult?
You haven't yet told them about the Raven cult.
Oh, I will, because that connects to Graculus, because they are allied through Elvis Darkmoor, and I know
the
that
whole Erevik thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worship of Nihil in Erevik is a pretty powerful synergy there with the Raven cult.
And oh no, okay, that's yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, it's all coming together.
And I'll also remind you that the statues that you destroyed, or the stone that you destroyed that was guarded by the statues in that North Tower, was one of 5 around the city of Ravenfall. Right. And you do know that magic, that specifically was powering whatever's happened to Nightshade.
Okay.
Oh my god. Raven, you might have to see the new Lar art.
Yeah, I've seen. It's beautiful.
New Lart drop. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's so good.
Wow.
You know that's going to be me in like 10 years, probably.
I mean, you roll enough of those in wild magic surges, Could
Be
be
it now.
sooner. Could be you very soon. I think the maximum is like 6. I think it was a D6 years, D8 maybe. So you'd have to do quite a few, but could happen. Any other questions? Any other things? Because I want to wrap up fairly soon here.
I think
I was hoping that they would have more information for us, but it looks like we're doing more of that. I was hoping to get more information.
They know a lot about the barbarians.
Right.
So there's a lot there that they can.
Who protects Gracchus? Like, is there a bunch of guys around him, or is it just him?
So when he comes and goes from the lair of the frostworm, he comes and goes alone. Certainly, there seems to have been some degree of. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. There's sometimes a handful of raven folk that, like, one or two that'll come with him, and they're usually cloaked. So the Gracchus is a stocky, grizzled raven folk, and he wears a black heavy cloak with a big hood, and usually it's all hood with just the beak poking out, sort of thing. And he often is seen with acolytes who sort of wear the same basic outfit. It's a very austere. There's no sort of like ornamentation. It's just a basic black heavy cloak with a hood. You also know very little about Nihil, and you might want to ask them a bit about that. I believe we had a religion roll at one point that was not successful.
I'll ask about Nihil, and if information can prompt me to make another religion roll, I do have decent religion, so I wouldn't mind getting another crack at that.
Sure. Go ahead and make me a religion roll, and we'll tie this together with like what they're telling you.
Okay. I'm going to historian myself for this one because this does feel like it's especially relevant to use.
I think it's quite relevant.
Awesome. Okay,
so roll the history check first.
Yeah, so I made that, and I get the extra +3, which gives me a +10 to religion.
Can I guidance? I'll try guidancing.
You can. The curse has been lifted thanks to you taking a black token. I should probably reveal, by the way, that curse was chosen by the chat from 3 options of what the spies were going to do to try and fuck with you guys.
Yeah.
And the 3 options, one was pocket picking, which could have been interesting.
Oh yeah.
You lose your cup again. You just got it back.
Yeah.
One of them was a curse. Was a surreptitious curse. Was the second, which was specifically to give you social penalties for dealing with the council. And the third option, Lane has forgotten and is just pulling up on the thing, so I remember. And the third option was, oh yes, framed! Exclamation point.
Oh no!
Was you were going to be framed for committing a crime.
I mean, I kind of did that to Fetid with the sheriff.
Yeah.
But an attempted crime, not even a real crime. So.
It's different though when only one person is actually able to perceive it, and it's not a person who's particularly trusted.
No.
Yeah.
It's different if it was like something very important went missing and was found in your tent.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
Well, with that pile of bonuses, that gets me to a 23 on religion.
Okay, so some of this is you dredging this out of your memory. Some of this is the information that they can give you, but I'll just sort of generally give you this. So Nihil is an entropic god, so a god of nothing, a god of emptiness, and it's basically worship of Nihil is extremely rare and barely known because his name is not generally invoked by any other pantheon. So if you're somewhere where, for example, if you go to a church in Mud Hollow, most of the worship is that's actually, that isn't personal to the individual, is of the gods of the north. So it's a specific set of pantheon of gods that includes like Odin and Thor and Loki and a bunch of these other jokers. In the Empire of Ibetia, it's a group of very Roman-esque gods, a group of 10, um, and so forth. Nihil is not part of a pantheon because he's like an anti-god. He's not a god that you worship as like, I want this nice thing to happen, because it's all about uh, ending and entropy and nothingness. Um, so you probably really have to work to remember reading anything about this, and you remember specifically reading about Nihil in the monastery of Throm. And I think maybe it's worth pulling up the full world map, since we have the map thing here.
Just give me a second.
So you have once or twice in your life, when researching something particularly hard to find information
We are
on,
currently way
made
up here.
trips.
Rome is here.
Yeah. Have made trips to places of great learning. So, for example, there's a great collection in the capital of the Holy Ibetian Empire of old scrolls. Um, you, of course, know the Maestro well, and have dipped into his library, his personal collection. You go to the Wizard's Vale and you partake of their information. But probably the greatest um, center of knowledge in all of the world, which we sometimes call the reaches of Throm, is the monastery where the Brotherhood of Throm reside. And this is a non-nation. This is like its own little state that is separate from the Wahadi Empire and the Holy Ibetian Empire around it. And the monks there are powerful, and they don't let any kind of they don't brook any sort of conflict, which is why the Ibetians and the Wahadi generally have to like sail around it to attack each other. They basically fight their wars on each other's soil. Um, the border is just not a place where they do anything. They do any business. Um, but you have been to the monastery of Throm, and you remember there reading about Nihil as sort of one of the old gods, sort of a primordial force type of a god. Um, so, with the knowledge that you get from the barbarians, they're more sort of able to give you some kind of direct experience. Um, the these barbarians are berserkers. Like they're obviously all barbarians can rage, but the idea is that annihilation is the goal, right? So death in battle is sought, but it is sought. You can't just like kill yourself and go, "Hey, I did it," or like throw yourself on the first spear you see and say, "Hey, that guy killed me, I win," um, because you have to destroy as much as you can, right? Destruction is the goal. That destruction culminates in your own destruction, but that's how it works. Um, and so, worship of Nihil would absolutely be, end of the world is like that's the best you can get. That's as good as it gets. Um, so you can see why any sort of like apocalyptic prophecy would be of very great interest to Nihil. Um, you know where you could probably find more information about Nihil worship, and like between you have in your own library probably some good resources back in Mud Hollow, but also the Wizard's Vale nearby Mud Hollow is not a bad place to try and get some more information. Maybe even trying to get back to Throm. Um, Certainly the monks would probably, you know, have at least some interest in not seeing the world destroyed. Um, but you've already kind of walked this path before, talking about like who could we convince that the world's ending, and maybe get some help.
Okay. And I also have a note from like last year, I think, calling Nihil the goddess of the dark ice.
Sorry, I keep saying God. It's goddess.
Okay.
Goddess Nihil.
So she is gendered as a goddess, and is
Yeah.
that title, like the dark ice, is that part of a title that
That is not one that you would have read in Throm, so it's quite possible. Like this is how religion works. Like when
Right.
when you have a setting like D&D where the gods are actually real, you know, the name of the god is maintained, but the people are worshiping it in different ways in different places. So like for a bunch of like ice barbarians to call her like the Lady of the Dark Ice, for example, makes some pretty good sense.
Okay.
You were an Ix, probably not. They wouldn't have ice there.
And I'm going to get you to roll me another history check. This is not a supporting other thing. This is just specifically a history check.
That's okay. 23.
Okay, that's still really, really good. I will tell you that there are higher cutoffs. So I'll give you that information, but you might, I'm just letting you know in case you
You
want
have
to
that
try and do
guidance.
something to get a higher number.
May
You
I
do
put
have
a guidance on it?
Yeah? Yeah, you can do that.
Don't be a 1. Don't be a 1. 25. We got a 2.
Nice.
Okay.
But we hit a threshold.
There are even higher thresholds if you
Okay.
if you have a way to do it. I don't know if you've got any inspirations left.
No
but,
inspiration.
Okay. So 25, pretty solid. That rings a bell. Something about the dark ice rings a bell. In just the most remote of ways, and you really wish you were in your library right now.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I definitely read something somewhere that is relevant to. And if I read it somewhere, it's probably in my library.
Okay. In terms of other questions for the council.
Could I give any assistance with arcane knowledge? So as he's
Not
talking
really.
about
That was
things?
already
Okay.
like that was me. I mean, that could have been an Arcana check rather than a history check, but
Same
I think you have the same number for both anyway. So.
And if you were going to send a highly trained party of assassins with a variety of skills, magical and martial, to strike against Graculus, when and where would you do it?
Just hypothetically.
Two options, right? They don't know exactly what's going on in Ervik, but there is, you know, that a seizing of power has happened there, and that is where Graculus is from. But the other option is where Graculus is now, and seems to be most of the time, is in the lair of the Frostworm.
Okay.
So if you're looking for
I mean,
Graculus, those are the
no one's
places you are
gone in
most
there
likely
and
to find him.
returned.
Yeah.
Graculus has.
Graculus has.
Graculus would be the first thing that isn't a dragon that has come in or out of that cave in many millennia that wasn't like food.
Oh, lots of things go in. It's just they don't come out again.
Would it be possible to get our hands on a ley lines map for that area?
I mean, it's not that kind of game, but if there was such a thing of that, you imagine that's a pretty powerful
run
spot.
Us rifts.
Yep. Yep. This is rifts now.
Make this
All
entire
right.
game rifts.
No,
Okay.
you're the one that was mentioning the
tear happens. There's a rift, and out comes a mecha.
No, you're the one that said that the different stones were on ley line.
They were. I don't think I.
Like
they're not specifically on ley lines, but they're on ley line like important sites. Like they are spaced in a way that matters around the city of Ravenfall. And I also mentioned that the actual citadel of Ravenfall is in a is a powerful place. It's in a powerful site because it was that power that you guys realized was being tapped into when Eliphas Darkmoor was in the hall doing the ritual that blindsided Nightshade.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Although you now realize that it wasn't Elephas that did that ritual, that it was the Grey Tower twins who went upstairs that did it to Nightshade. Elephas was just summoning the portal so he could dump his barbarians in the middle of the city.
Mhm.
Speaking of whom, I was just going through old polls and reminded myself that Elephas still has like that permanent curse that you guys
Oh, right.
that the chat gave him,
Good.
where spirits mock him all the time. Our fairy spirits are constantly mocking him. So everywhere he goes, there's like a
guy.
floating hand giving him the finger, or otherwise,
Knocking over his beer,
yep, being hilarious, or what it finds hilarious,
pulling apart his belt at a shitty time.
tying shoelaces together. And that's where we're leaving it for tonight. So the next steps are going to be for figuring out what kind of action to take with your
Lane, can you
new
roll me a
barbarian allies.
d20?
I shall indeed roll a d20, and I'll remind the chat that this is where subscribers to the channel are entered into the draw for some artwork of your own. I rolled 15, number 15.
15. Give me a second to switch
Who
back over.
wins? Who has wind?
K2.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, K2. Nice. Nice.
Boom.
K2, you are the winner of some art. And next game, I guess, is currently scheduled or was scheduled for the 8th. But Alina, is that not going to be a problem with your FurryCon that you're doing? Or is that only on Saturday, Sunday?
Nope, that's a Friday show. We may have to
We have to
reschedule that
talk
one.
about it. So we'll figure it out.
Let me just check my calendar. Yep, that
We
is...
can figure out and announce. We don't have to make a
we'll
decision
figure it
this
out.
second. But I just wanted to know if we can announce or not. So we may not be playing on the 8th. We'll have to figure that out.
But I will Blue Sky, and I'll update Twitch with our schedule.
And shout outs. I was saying before the stream began that we're going to try and set up a live game at Gen Con this year. So if you're going to Gen Con in August, we're going to try and have a game out on the stage and see how that goes. And we may have guests. There's definitely other folks at Gen Con who have played on the stream before. So we'll see how that comes together. Stay tuned. That's what I got to shout out. Who else has got something?
Putting stuff in the chat. I'm going to be playing Empyrean Rising, our Cypher System game, this Sunday on twitch.tv/Altered Echo Archives. So if you want to come check out the Cypher System, it'll be a really wonderful, chaotic game. We've got something really big planned, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. I've been promised that something big's going to happen. So that'll be this Sunday, noon PST, 3 EST. Throwing a link in the chat.
We're reminded that he pronounces it Kaito
Kaito.
rather than Kaitu.
Kaito. Kaito? Kaito.
No, long I, long O.
Yeah.
Kaito.
Kai Big Toe.
Yep.
It's his Indian name.
Otherwise, it sounds too much like Caillou, which if
Yeah.
you're Canadian, you're like, oh God, no.
Oh no, that's in America too. We have Caillou.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Yep.
I'm sorry we've cursed you
Yeah.
I'm
with
so
that.
sorry.
No, he made the
I
trip
can
south.
only apologize.
No.
Ooh,
Such an
He's been
awful
around for
little
a few
child.
years.
he's the worst. Literally the
Yep.
worst.
Mm-hmm.
I was very glad when Velma started watching shows and she saw like 3 minutes of Caillou and was like, no. She's like,
Good.
as a toddler, she's like,
French.
no. Because
I really hate that style of animation, which is like a white background. You know,
Yeah. No
where it's just
background.
like a character, a little bit of a setting of where they are, and then nothingness. It's unsettling.
Other shout outs? I know Alina's going to be at Emerald City.
Emerald City next weekend.
I don't know if Peter is or anyone else.
Not me.
Oh, I'm going to be Calgary Expo next month. Or no, 2 months
really?
from now. Yeah, I
Let me
haven't
know
done.
how that one
I'm
is.
doing. It's my last hurrah Calgary, basically because I've had a table deposit riding with them since 2019.
Right.
That I have to cash out, and so I'm doing it as my last hurrah Calgary show. So if any of you are Alberta-based folks, it'd be lovely to see you. This might be the last one that I do.
Okay. Anyone
I
else?
finished my first
Hey, not too bad.
comic.
Yay.
Oh,
A
yeah.
3-page comic.
Congrats.
I
Is
don't know.
There's a
Woo!
URL, right?
No, it's just like it's just a drive folder
Mm-hmm.
right now that I posted. I don't know where I'll post it. I do want to change the text on it,
Oh,
but
yeah.
technically it is done. It's just
So
not exactly
Check
fully what I
out
want.
the socials there, folks. Stay up to
Mhm.
date on Raven's Instagram. That's probably a
Heck
good
yeah.
place. Honestly, that's a good place for you to post it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Like I'll put
certainly
it
works for
there, and I'll
Danielle.
probably put it on TikTok as well.
Right.
And then
So
just
he's
always
just
make
out
sure you're
there in the
reading
system
everybody's
somewhere.
comics, questionable
I don't
content,
understand when he feels
Yeah.
like he can't contact us.
Popeye, and
So he's just out
something
there.
positive.
Give us
I-
money.
I'm probably gonna actually draw some comics for the first time in like a year
Nice.
over the coming
What?
month or two.
The phone call
Yay.
So that'll be
Nice.
good. Yeah.
All right. So
No, definitely
next
not.
time, folks,
No.
we
He hasn't
will
called
see
me in years.
you
Like he
with the trash heap.
always uses Facebook. It's just Messenger.
I don't know if Alina is going to
So-
shut the stream off because Alina is on the phone. I'm assuming there is some sort of phone call.
We're
So,
just stuck
oh,
forever.
here we go.
Hang on just a sec. Are we all good to go?
We're good to go.
Okay, bye.
Everybody.
Get in the stream.
Night, y'all.
Night, everybody. Get some sleep, Jeff.
Yes.
All right, night.
Well,
Tucker and Pepper.
See y'all next time.
Bye.
We'll let you know what works for timing. We'll